aha zikire musanje zeihangwe ohulirize KDR 10 fama akaire kanu nikakuleterwa
MTN Voice Bundles ezikutera network zona habei dondolo migasita 16 rundo yekonyeza my MTN app okome mu daily bundle habo kuba butukubaza itwena titukwemerezebwa. MTN Uganda Limited nererwa Uganda Communications Commission.
A very good afternoon. Thank you so much for keeping it KDR FM. My name is Deo Asiimwe. Now, this is KDR's news. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to resume PDM assessment tours next week. MP Dr. Emily supports Kasalaba Boda Stage Saving Group with 1 million shillings to grow their capital. Fisheries Protection Unit accused of corruption in Melissa and Israel strikes historic Lebanese city of Baalbek after ordering evacuation. This and more stories shortly in the detail. A very good afternoon once again. My name is Deo Asiimwe. Now the detail. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is set to commence his evaluation tour of the parish development model in eastern Uganda. The development was confirmed by the Presidential Press Unit in a statement released yesterday. According to the statement, Museveni will kick off the tour in Bukedi sub-region on Wednesday, 6th next week. The PPU states that during the tour, the president will engage with various stakeholders, including local leaders and technical staff, majority on PDM program, as well as holding public rallies at different locations within the respective districts. Museveni began these assessment tours last year under the theme Wealth Creation and Prosperity for All, with emphasis on the 4-acre model, PDM, Emioga and other government livelihood programs. To date, the president has traveled to Acholi, West Nile and Greater Masaka sub-regions for the same purpose. Away from that, the Buyanja East Member of Parliament, Dr. Emily Kugonza, has donated 1 million shillings to Kasalaba Boda Stage Saving Group in Matale Sub-County to support them towards growing their capital and run the group activities. The donation was handed to them by the political assistant Andrew Biaruhanga Semakula with a call on riders to bear riding equipment like driving permits, third-party helmets, among others, to avoid being inconvenienced while doing their work. The handover function was held at Kasalaba Boda Stage in Kasalaba Trading Center in Matale Sub-County, Kibale District yesterday.
Tito nito abali ya main nitekwa kuuliriza ebiragiro bya traffic hati ogenzero ka 10 mitirizo katunulira abaina sticker third party nitutekwa kurangwa ebyo byona rabo kuba musoro gomu kuba ni musasura hagombora ni hakuruge sente zikwijja kuongera kuba konyera norole gombora akiri ni muchora ni mugamba tubaire tuenda mutukonyera ya side end tukusaba yakasaho kasemini then anyuma ati mulyoke muteko driving permit ebiragiro novuga norugano noyeyongera yo nabo kutunga accident busa omuntu akukwata okusobora kuba omuputayikire baite driving permit ekukonyera habwo kuba nambere bakukwatira okatunga ekizibu bakusoka kubuza driving permit yoina baito mubyona era yagamba mbaletere sente era ya mtwaro 10 ngibaletere mu certificate.
Led by their chairperson Lawrence Nsubirwa, the Boda riders note that through the legislators' support and advice, especially on promoting saving culture, most of them have been able to acquire personal motorcycles for improved livelihood. They further say that through their daily savings of 3,000 shillings, they have so far saved 2.5 million shillings with profits of over 450,000 shillings. They have, however, expressed some challenges they face, including difficulties in paying for motorcycles acquired through loans, as well as lacking a shed where to park while the travelers waiting for the travelers, among others.
emyaka gyo ire nyuma tuvuga pichi za bagaiga baitu otakufunamu umugaiga kukusima bere nakugoba bugoba nagamba ge twayikalira hano tukatwine ekitebe cyayi twari kitutandikiroho twayikaga mu kitebo ko zabaga sente zifuni obukaide baitu nkabubiri turabantu baitu nkabatano tugamba ati obukaide obubiri tubuhoro umuntu akusobora genda akafuna speech ya Roni agiyayo agaruka stage kuchapa mpora baitu nasuraga kasente kaitu kali yenyuma nasura no mugaiga kuruga tuyagira ali obwe kulembezi mazima kasarabo boda stage funiremu muno
ebintu byatukoleire enyumao nokwikyabwire buno akyatukolera tukaba tuina stage yaituni tukipangisa akasaraba hano stage eyo twika tufunamo obutayikiraniza na mukama wa ekichweke tubere tugenzire kusemezaaho tugire kubona mukama wa ekichweka naija natugamba hano mu rugeo tusindika obutumwa bwaitu mu wekitinisa hatuyambe hatufunire okutubikiza titwina kabuyonjo yaitu nkaito okwika ogenda weserura kweyambira usanga bagikingire.
Charles Asiimwe, the district councillor, Matale Sub-County, commends border riders for their hard work, hailing Dr. Emily Kugonza for always supporting his electorate in different developmental activities.
Mwebale kumanya etukugia mwatandika kusavinga emyaka gingwiro henyuma kandi mwawuliriza obuhabuzi ati omwana atahaburwa taika hakugonza ekikutuburawo tukasooka twafuna site na mbere batekere stage yabo kandi ngonza kusima akikido kitemire amabata akagatuhereza baitu kokamanyire stand taburwa muhanda ekiyaga keja kyayimba stage yon kyagitera hansi namabati gona kyagazinga abwire buno abana no basanga ni bakolera habujubu ayunura nayo tugisima kubanga ati bakwebetene hakuyigama eitaka lyonka na mbere bali batutiriza akusinzira report yintungiro mu bana babagobero ati twajo muruta rukusera mbere turateka akajuka itu.
Away from that, allegations of corruption within the Fisheries Protection Unit have prompted calls for government intervention from local leaders and members of parliament in Bulisa district. Reports indicate that some fisheries officials are soliciting bribes from fishermen to allow them to fish, while those unable to pay face denial of access to fishing activities, leading to claims of selective law enforcement. Local leaders are advocating for the establishment of a fund dedicated to the fisheries sector, which will provide loans to the fishermen for purchasing necessary fishing gear. Alan Atugonza, a local representative, highlights the numerous complaints from fishermen who allege that the Fisheries Protection Unit is demanding money for fishing permits even when they lack the appropriate fishing equipment. He calls for a creation of the Fisheries Fund accessible to fishermen for acquiring necessary equipment. Fred Lukumu, the Local Council 5 chairperson, stresses the need for the government action to promote aquaculture as an alternative to traditional fishing. Efforts to reach the Fisheries Protection Unit in Bulisa for a comment were unsuccessful as officials declined to respond to inquiries. Recently, similar allegations surfaced regarding illegal fishing activities on Lake Albert near Ndaiga in Kagadi district. However, Lieutenant Musa Shaban, the sector commander for Kagadi and Intoroko, dismissed the claims, stating that the unit does not solicit bribes for illegal fishing activities but enforces directives as intended. Police in Kabarole district are investigating a brutal murder of a child in Kakworo village, Hakivale sub-county, where a 28-year-old man is accused of attacking the home of his 49-year-old father-in-law, identified as Samuel Mohigi. The suspect, who has been identified as Nazalio Kakana, is said to have hacked 12-year-old Susan Mary Kajuika and her 7-year-old brother Peter Ampire as he targeted them while they slept on Tuesday night. Susan later succumbed to panga cut injuries shortly after reaching Fatpota Regional Referral Hospital, while Ampire was still in critical condition by yesterday night. The Rwenzori West Region Police spokesperson Vincent Vincent Twesigei says that the incident is believed to have stemmed from a long-standing family dispute following Kakana's marital wars, leading to a fallout with his two wives, who are biological sisters. It is reported that after Kakana got misunderstandings with his wives, his elder wife divorced, leaving her sister behind, who later also left him. According to Twesigei, preliminary police information indicates that the suspect has since been threatening to harm his in-laws over the divorce of his wives, and at the time of the attack, Muhigi and the victims were sleeping in one room. SP Twesigei says that officials from Hakiwale Police Post, joined by a specialized team from Kabarole District Police Headquarters, responded to the scene, but they were yet to arrest the suspect. He notes that blood-stained walls and beddings testified a violent incident, and exhibits have been collected from the scene of crime to further ongoing forensic investigations.
You are still listening to KDR News Broadcast. This is the news on the international scene.
For the news on the international scene, Lebanon. Israel has carried out heavy airstrikes in Lebanon's historic city of Baalbek in the eastern Bekaa Valley after tens of thousands of residents fled in response to evacuation orders issued by the Israeli military. Mayor Mustafa Al-Shel has told the media that more than 20 strikes were reported in the Baalbek area, with 5 inside in the city itself, where there is ancient Roman temple complex. Lebanon's state news agency says the diesel tanks were also hit in the neighboring town of Dauris, where Mayor Mustafa says pictures show a huge column of black smoke rising into the air. The Israeli military has, however, said it struck fuel depots belonging to Hezbollah in the Bekaa Valley without giving any details. The attack comes as the Hezbollah's new Secretary General said the group will continue its war plan against the Israel under his leadership, and that it will not cry out for any ceasefire. Speaking a day after his appointment was announced, Naim Qasim said he will follow the agenda of his predecessor, Hassan Nasrallah, who was killed in Israel airstrikes in Beirut last month. Qasim made a speech from an undisclosed location amid reports suggesting he had fled to Iran with Hezbollah's main supporter. The early tonight is 13 minutes past 1 p.m. We take a quick look on the top stories as we wind up today's afternoon bulletin. President Museveni to resume PDM assessment tours next week. Member of Parliament Dr. Emily Kugonza supports Kasalaba Border Stage Saving Group with 1 million shillings to grow their capital. Fisheries Protection Unit accused of corruption in Bulisa, and Israel strikes historic Lebanese city of Baalbek after ordering evacuation. That's it. Thank you so much for keeping it KDR FM. My name is Deo Asiimwe. Nice lunch.